Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at XRP on this video, and we're going to obviously have to look at Bitcoin very briefly and the altcoin market in general. But before we go any further, if you've already got a Binance account, why don't you set up a new one? This one will give you 20% off all your trading fees for life. So if you've already got one and you think, oh, I have to register it, blah blah blah, you just need a new email address and a Google Auth code. You can have as many Binance accounts as you like. You just need to verify with ID if you're buying and selling with fiat currency. So save yourself some money, get yourself an account set up with this link. The description below will give you the link, otherwise just use this referral ID. But without further ado, let's have a look at what the hell has been going on here. So XRP, if none of you know what this really means and why this has happened, SEC has decided to sue XRP or Ripple for selling XRP under the, I suppose the misconception that it was a security token, where it was actually a utility token, and this is going to be one of those situations that's going to drag on for a really long time, because this happened before with Can coin. All right, so the best way to explain it is SEC aren't really very good at regulating cryptocurrencies. I don't believe that they've ever had a successful situation where they've brought these allegations and lawsuits and come out, on top. So they didn't win it with Can coin. The case went on for about 2 years, and then they basically just got dropped. Now Can, if you don't know about Can, it's a pretty low cap coin, but it was, and I think probably still is, one of the most used cryptocurrencies, as in it's utilized more on a daily basis than I think most other cryptocurrencies out there. But you've probably not heard of it, because unless you use the Kick app or whatever, I think that's the main reason it was invented, was just to be a currency through there. You're not going to know about it. It's not on major exchanges. But they failed in suing them under the same concept. So in my mind, I don't think that they're going to succeed in this case. And from what I understand, I think the UK, of all places, actually granted XRP that security token status. So if they've already been given that status in the UK, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the case, then that's more than Can ever got. So I very much doubt that they're going to succeed in this. However, that doesn't help when you see the FUD kicking in, and you see basically a giant sell-off, which is what's happened here. Now the knock-on effect to this giant sell-off, because XRP is a really large cryptocurrency as far as its market cap is concerned, is basically dragged the entire altcoin market down with it. And as a result of that, Bitcoin dominance is now broken out of this descending channel. Now, I have been saying that there are reasons that we could have broken out of this. Descending channels often break to the up. There was some bullish situations going on here, such as on the weekly, we had our weekly MACD crossing over into the 0 point. We're also piercing this level here, which is the green 50 exponential moving average, which is bullish. We also have a fresh Ichimoku cloud cross take place on the weekly as of a few weeks ago. All of that is bullish for continuation. On the daily, we basically have pretty much a bullish setup. And even on the monthly, if we go back to the monthly, what we have here, this is going back now to July 2019. This was the positive cross to say that Bitcoin dominance is bullish, and it is basically, despite waving around all over the place, it's still a positive cross. It's not been negated. It's still there, and now it would appear that we're not going to get the negative cross, which is what could have happened if we would have stayed below levels of 62. At the moment, we're not getting that. So the only way that we can chart this now is on previous supports and resistances. So XRP has brought the alt market down, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as this chart plays out. And there's only one way that we're going to find a new level of resistance, which is to see where we were rejected from in the past. So we'll get our little blue box territory out, and we'll hope for the best for the altcoin situation. Now, on my channel, I've been talking about how I've been picking up several alts here, there, and everywhere, because their charts, specifically their charts, look good to go in January. So I would expect that January would be still a good time for alts to move, around mid-January. A lot of the alts that I've been looking at suggest that that would be the time, because I look at things on a weekly basis. They generally, dailies to weeklies have the better indication of when larger moves take place. So that's what I like to look at. So they're all still intact as far as Holochain, FET AI, EOS, all of these coins, they're still good to go on that weekly basis into January, as in like mid-January and onwards. So we're not really expecting this to be rejected until it reaches those kind of levels. So I'm thinking, to be honest, I'm thinking between 71 and 72 is the areas of rejection. So the highest wick that we had since the entire market collapsed into itself in 2018 was this one here around September 2019, August, September. That top area there was 73.19, and these areas down here, these candle bodies seem to be rejected also at around about 71.24. So this, I'm afraid, is going to be the new levels of resistance for us, which is still quite a little distance away from where we are at right now. So thank you, XRP. You know, we're very grateful for the gains that you've made us, but we're a little bit upset about the way that you have destroyed the altcoin market until, well, I'm assuming mid to late January now at the earliest. However, you know, when we go back to XRP, there has been I suppose a destiny reuniting these zones, which is the 200 exponential with the price action. So this has just speeded up the entire process, and this is probably bringing us into an accumulation period anyway. So I've said this from pretty much the beginning of this pump. I said, well, you know, I can't give you a price target, but what I can say is the next time I'll be more comfortable in buying XRP back, you know, on a larger scale, like I did going long on it, I suppose, on these zones here, is when we start to reaccumulate back down where the 200 exponential is. So that's this white line here, which we have now hit and surpassed, and we're into this blue box zone. So the blue box zone I've put in there, that corresponds to price action all the way back in history, all the way back, you know, support resistance, generally support resistance, all the way back, lots and lots of confluence during this in this zone that we're in at this moment in time. So this is likely to be the area of reaccumulation. So this is a giant wick here, so a giant candle body in all fairness, and it's just it could easily come back down to the bottom zone of this blue box territory around 28.27 cents. Now I think what we're looking for now is for this green exponential to come back down and these two to start leveling out, us to reaccumulate around these zones for maybe even a month or two, and technically show us and prove to us that this is the reaccumulation phase. Then we will look for another opportunity to buy in for basically the big move, the next big move, which when I first charted this out and I first started looking at it, we saw on the weekly that there was going to be a big move, and I said, you know, don't expect anything until January, which is kind of what I have been saying anyway. But we got that cross and we launched up straight from it. So the cross took place here and we launched almost immediately. It's pretty rare to see something like that take place on a weekly, because it's a lagging indicator. So you see the cross take place on the weekly, you can't expect it to happen straight away. I saw the cross take place, I made a video on it saying, look, this is the ultimate buy signal, and it pretty much launched within a week of that. So that was earlier than I expected it. Now, so long as we're above these zones again, you know, we're talking the bottom level here all the way down back here before the last pump, which I very much doubt we'll get into. I think we're going to stay within that blue box zone that we saw on the daily there. But, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't pierce back down beneath it, but I think we'll be sucked back up, you know, into it and just spend our time reaccumulating between 28 and 32. That's all I've really got for you, really. When we have a giant move like this, anything's possible. There's a lot of people who are going to be shorting this. The shorts will have definitely stacked on this one, so there's going to be a hell of a lot of weight on this one at the moment. And Bitcoin, clearly, if it wanted to, could dump down to these lower levels, 20,000 flat, or even 19,900, 19,400. There's a lot of areas that Bitcoin could come down to if it wanted to, and that is just going to completely just wreck XRP and alts in general. But Overall, Bitcoin is still in a bullish situation, still above the 10 exponential, still above the 20 daily. So I'm not going to get bearish on this one quite yet, but it would you know, definitely destroy this chart formation completely if it did break down to significant levels. We might even basically fail the next step up of the cycle. But the cycle has still got another year to kick in, and if you watched my video on the XRP market cycle, even on that video before these big pumps were made, I said, look, we are expecting to see big moves with XRP, but don't get too excited until I'd say around about May time, May 2021. that's when it'll be primed to start to make the big moves. So these moves have come out early and were a lot more than I thought they would be at this stage in the cycle. The biggest moves are going to take place, in my mind, after May 2021. So again, you know, all this is an opportunity. I'd say all of this is an opportunity, because I do still see XRP hitting areas like $4, surpassing its all-time high, but around about $4. But this whole SEC situation is going to put a dampener on a lot of that. But I wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't worry too much for the moment. Profit taken on Bitcoin is going to bring this down further. So what we'll do is we'll wait for this to technically reaccumulate before buying it back. For the moment, it's definitely an asset that is worth staying well away from, but we'll keep a close eye on it, as we have done over the last maybe about 5 months or so since we broke out of this consolidation pattern. Anyway, I will leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Join my Telegram chat, and like I say, set yourself up some Binance accounts. You know, might as well save a bit of cash on your Binance fees. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.